Hi there, this is Professor Stewart, and welcome to a screencast of our first response paper assignment on Moonrise Kingdom and George Washington. You'll be looking at possibly uh, a comparison of formalism and realism in the two films, but we'll be talking about some other possibilities. Um, Again, with our first response paper, I hope you're just going to begin to understand my expectations here. So the first response paper may have be sort of approaching what I'm looking for, and the second response paper a little closer, and then hopefully by the third response paper you really nail it. So let's take a look here. I have a lot of information here. I've broken it up into three sections. We have assignment requirements, we have topic suggestions, and then we have an overview of film elements. So let's get started. The response paper should be at least 2 to 3 pages. So I'm hoping that in this first paper, it really needs to be 2 pages at least, and then possibly in the next few papers you'll have a little better idea of what to talk about, things like that. But we'll be discussing that a little bit later here. You're going to share to my Gmail here. Make sure you include a assignment heading in the top left, page and last name in the top right, and inserting a page number up in the header. Be sure not to summarize. I've seen both the movies. I know the stories, so it's up to you to just give me a couple sentences of where you're at, and jump right into a discussion of the film elements. You're going to want to make sure you organize your essay around a focused thesis statement, typically in the last sentence of your introduction. This helps to keep you focused and on track, and it helps to keep your reader informed and set up our expectations. You will be asked to include analysis of 3 specific shots or sequences of shots and 3 images. So those can match, which most cases would probably work out. So let's say you're going to talk about a specific shot from the Noah's Flood play in Moonrise Kingdom. Include an image. If it's in the body of your paper, which is fine, you're going to want it to just be like a smaller thumbnail, maybe a 3x3 inch or 2x2. You could also just tell me to refer to figure 1 and put a larger image in the back of your paper, and then at the end just include your 3 images and tell me where I need to look at them. And so that is 3 shots, 3 images at least. So you can have more. Following MLA format, that's what we've been using up until now. So just keep in mind the work that you've submitted shared through Gmail, 12-point double space 1-inch margins. Always use italics with a movie title. Your job as a writer is to reveal the subtleties and complexities that may have escaped other viewers. So kind of dig in and look for stuff that maybe no one else has noticed, and that's the fun part. You're going to focus on 3 sequences just to make sure you don't need to retell the whole story. You're going to give me your thesis in that first paragraph, and then you're going to break it down in the body paragraphs and give me specific examples. You might do body paragraph 1, cinematography, body paragraph 2, mise en scène, body paragraph 3, editing, if you want to do it that way. Or you can do each paragraph will be a different part of the movie. You may want to rewatch a copy of the movies from the library. You can get director commentaries that way and kind of see some background. You'll want to look through the text, look through maybe your notes of the summaries you've written, so you can include some of that in your paper. Anything from the slideshows. You don't need to cite anything that's from the movies, anything that's from the slideshows, anything from the textbook. But I will be posting a few articles in the films button in the left-hand panel in Blackboard. and you're welcome to use those, but you will need to cite them. And there's some resources in Blackboard, and we'll be going over that quite a bit more to show you how to include citations. We'll be using MLA 8th edition. Your purpose is not to convince the reader to like or dislike the movie, but to add to our understanding. Assume your reader's familiar with film terms like mise-en-scène. Find a balance between subjective, which is your personal opinion, and objective, which is observation. Again, you can say anything you want about these movies as long as you can back it up with scenes and shots from the movie. Question your previously held opinions and keep your opinions from clouding your judgment. And just sort of, that's the objective piece. That's where you want to try to look at it and not judge it, but just give us the evidence and take it from there. Okay, so that's part one. Part two, I have some topics here broken up into 4 sections. You don't have to talk about every bullet point here. You are just going to use these as guidelines. You might compare George Washington to Moonrise Kingdom. You might just write about Moonrise, or you might just write about George Washington. It's completely up to you. I try to give a balance of freedom here, free to do what you want, but also some focus for anybody who needs that. If you have another topic, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I can okay that, and we can go with it. So any ideas you have, maybe you have something you really wanted to write about. Remember, we have that long list of prompts that I gave you for Moonrise Kingdom as well. So you can use any of those. So first, we have compare the portrayal of children. Are the children in both films able to overcome the problems, hypocrisy, and limitations of the adult world? How? Why do the children become attracted to each other? How do the directors use shots, angles, mise-en-scène to show that? You might compare Moonrise Kingdom to George Washington as works of formalism, realism. Again, you're going to use mise-en-scène, cinematography, color, dialogue, editing as evidence to show me that. How do films deal with violence is another possibility. Compare the tone. The tone is the mood or atmosphere of a film revealed by the director's method. So is the film serious? Is it humorous? Is it satirical? I would suggest Moonrise Kingdom is humorous / it's earnest. It's meant, it takes itself pretty seriously, whereas George Washington, I feel like it's a little more satirical. And finally, both movies are told by a narrator. In Moonrise Kingdom, the narrator is an adult. In George Washington, it's a child. Najee is the narrator in George Washington. Does this make a difference? Look at the way the movies end. Do you see one ending more upbeat than the other? Things like that. And so that is part 2. Part 3, by no means do you have to talk about all this stuff, but I want to, again, give you as much information as I can. So we have the 5 elements of film here: acting, story, mise-en-scène, cinematography, editing, and sound. You're welcome to write 1 body paragraph about each if that works for you. You're welcome to just choose 2. You don't have to write about everything. And you don't have to write about all these bullet points either. They are just there to prompt you and give you some things to talk about, especially in this first paper. So look it over, get back to me if you have any questions about paper ideas that you want to do outside of this. I'd be glad to look at that. And so thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.